there's something that happens when you know that somebody is for you, where the extra mile is possible. And that was, it wasn't the case in many of my other relationships. And so as I started to sort of navigate, like, oh, this is a really big fight, this is a really big blow up, and yet all I want is to be closer to her. There's a part of me that wants to run. There's a part of me that wants to say this isn't it. And there's a bigger part of me that knows this is it, knows that this is the ceremony, this is the portal, this is the place that I enter and open and grow as a man. And so I do think it sometimes just comes down to timing and maturity. Right. I've been with people and had friends who, were with somebody for 7 years. They broke up, didn't have a baby, nothing happened. And then the moment they get their next boyfriend or whatever, they're pregnant and I'm getting married. Right. And it's like, what? Right. But it's timing. It's timing. And I like to share this story. I had this dog named Spirit, and I used to take her to the dog park, and Spirit would come in, and some dogs and her would like meet up and they go, nope. And they keep going. And then other dogs, they'd meet up and they'd be like, I'm about to smell your butthole. And they'd be like, let's go. And then they'd like smell each other's buttholes and like do the thing. And like, what's the rhyme or reason to that other than we are energetic matches, right? There are certain dogs. She didn't want to smell every dog's butthole. She didn't want to do that. There were certain dogs' buttholes who she was like, that is it. I will sniff that for as long as I possibly can. And other dogs, they just would literally not even barely look at each other. It wasn't like I hate you. It just like we are not an energetic match. And to me, relationship is similar, right? No matter how good it looks on paper, if there's something about that connection in this time in human history that isn't it, it will end. And I think it's more about our desire to make everything last for 1,000 years that gets in the way. Because those interactions with Spirit and the dogs didn't need to be for hours, right? It'd be moments sometimes. And I'd look at that and go like, why is she's not suffering because that dog didn't want to stay around, right? But why am I suffering because it didn't work out with so-and-so? Oh, it's because I'm so attached to the time that I'm supposed to, right? My personality is getting in the way of what Spirit is trying to do through me with this person. That's the game.
And there's an element of surrender to that, right? Like the dogs aren't choosing which dog's butthole really works for them. And there is this element of surrendering to the partner who is true for you. And then I love what you said earlier, instead of having this list of like, yes, have ultimatums, have red flags, listen to those things. But at the end of the day, you're not looking for a perfect partner. You're looking for the partner where it's like, I want to do this with you. I want to go through the crazy with you. I want to go through the hard times with you. I want to have the fights with you. And I want to do all the beautiful things with you because it's you.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's exactly it. And just one last piece on the crazy thing. Crazy is a perspective, right? I've coached thousands of women who are like, my partner isn't in the work. What do I do? I'm like, tell me about him. Well, he like hangs out with his friends and he like laughs all the time and he's like enjoying his life. And I'm like, that sounds like the work. It sounds like he's living the thing while you're punishing yourself in self-development programs to get what he already naturally has. Well, he like plays video games and he like enjoys them. And I'm like, okay, so you do nothing except for this and sniff his butthole? Well, no, I like also go to Beyonce concerts. Okay, so your concerts are okay, but his video games aren't, right? Notice the hypocrisy that's hidden inside of this, right? And so crazy is a perspective. And to me, yes, initially it's like, oh, I do appreciate her crazy more than some others. And it started to hit me that my perspective was completely tainted and covered by the culture I grew up in and the ideas that were fed to me through film and television, my parents, the school system, and the church. So if I take all these shoulds and all these unconscious agreements off the table and actually look at what's here, it's completely different when I change that filter.
Absolutely.